Hello, everyone, and welcome to Options Hero. This is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to learn a ton here. For those that aren't very familiar with options or confused with options, we're going to rip that away. That's going to be gone by the end of this video series, by the end of this mini course. There's so much to go over here. I'm so excited to have you. Thank you so much. You may not feel this now, you may not know this now, but if you're not making the kind of money you want to be making in the stock market, that all changes now. Here and now today, that changes. And one of the ways we're going to do that is by showing you exactly how options can not only make you money easier, but most importantly, how they can significantly reduce your losses. And that's a big deal. You stay in the game longer, you have a lot more confidence, you're more engaged, you're more active in the markets. So Options Hero is a course that will teach you how to do all that. So this is me. Hey guys, it's me, Steven. I've been an investing coach for probably the last decade. I've taught thousands and thousands of students from all different backgrounds, years of experience. I currently have about 5 or 6 thousand students that are involved in any of my courses at a given time. All the way from money managers with millions and millions of dollars under management to those just starting out with a $2,000 account. And the truth is, not one of those people, not one of my students are actually making as much money as they want to. Everyone wants to make more. One of the ways to do that is to cut your risks in half, to reduce your risk. And again, that's what Options Hero is. So I used to be a professional baseball player. Now I'm a professional investor and investor coach. And I'm really super passionate about teaching people how to manage their own money. That's a big deal for me. That's a really big deal for me. I hate Wall Street. I absolutely despise every single thing about Wall Street. I hate Wall Street. I hate its guts. The goal for Wall Street, and the reason I hate it so much, is not to make everyone some more money, right? It's not to make Johnny over there have a little bit more money so that he could pay his rent, or Nancy so that her children are able to go to a better college. That's not the goal of Wall Street, right? The goal of Wall Street is to take your money and charge you fees on it. Now, the way they do that is they overcomplicate everything. They make everything seem like it's way more difficult than it is. Ultimately, the big goal for them is so that they can take your money, they can invest for you, and they can charge you fees every single year for doing so. And the fact that that is the motto, that is the business model for Wall Street, I hate it. I absolutely hate it. So my mission is to teach every single person in the world that wants to learn how to make money by themselves in the markets. I want to teach those people, and I want them to create financial freedom. And I want to take, and the cool thing about this in the stock market is if you guys learn this stuff now, you will be able to do it every single day, every single week, every single month, every single year for the rest of your life. This is one of the industries that doesn't really change, right? The only thing that's really changed in the stock market and finance is the fact that it's kind of migrated more from floor brokers, as an example, to internet brokers or online brokerages. Options have been there, stocks have been there, futures have been there. Nothing really changes. Like, for example, retail is going through a big change and grocery stores are going through a big change. Stock market is not. It's trillions and trillions of dollars every single day exchanging hands. It's not changing. It's going to be here for the next 1,000 years. I'm going to be here hopefully for the next 60 years teaching everyone. So it's not going to change. So if you learn these things now, you'll be able to stay with them for the rest of your life. So what is Options Hero, right? What is this course that you guys are in right now? So the first thing that we're going to teach you in Options Hero is how to reduce your stock investment risk by 90%. That's right, 90%, so that you can be more confident in what you do. So one of the big issues that a lot of people have before they start off, or they already have an account, and they want to make more money, is the fact that they feel like they don't have the confidence to really go for it, to really get engaged in the process, because they're worried about losing money, right? So options is one way, and one very simple way, to be able to take care of that in very little amounts of time. Another way to make sure that you're not losing that much money is Options Hero and Options are going to teach you how to place trades that give you a 95% chance of being profitable. That's amazing. And it's so easy. In the next 2 or 3 videos in this course, you're going to see how to do that. And again, you're going to be able to make trades after this course. I mean, how amazing is that? After this course, you're going to be able to make trades that 19 times out of 20 are going to be right. I mean, could you imagine that? How amazing is that? Right? So only 1 out of 20 trades then do you have to worry about being a loser. More and more and more and more winners. And for those people who don't have a ton of money, options is great because it teaches you how to buy options for way cheaper than the current price of the stock. So if you want to buy 100 shares of stock, you can buy 100 shares worth of options for a 20th of the price. That's really awesome. And again, it's like pennies on the dollar, right? Pennies on the dollar. On top of that, options are the only product in the world that can tell you how far a stock or future or forex or whatever it is, how far the market thinks they're going to go up or down in the next 30 days. Could you imagine this? Wait, think for a second. Could you imagine being able to know how far Apple might go in the next 30 days? I mean, how much that would just change and significantly improve your chances of making money. And again, that won't take you any more than 60 seconds to see, right? And here's a really cool one. This is my favorite one about options. Options allow you to make money even when you're directionally wrong. So let's say, for example, you put an option trade on where you're betting Apple is going to go up, but Apple goes down 10% and you still make all your money. That is only possible with options. That's really cool. And we're going to teach you how to do that there, right? So there's a really cool strategy that I do, and I do a lot, again, because I don't like to lose money either. And the strategy makes you money if the market does anything better than down 50% in 30 days. Imagine that, putting on a trade, and the only way you lose money is if the market gets cut in half in 30 days. That's a pretty cool tool. And then after that, I'm going to give you a free cheat sheet after all this so that when you're trading every single day, you know the stocks to stay away from, right? So again, this is all about making sure that your losses are completely cut away. Cut in half, 90%, they're just removed and significantly reduced. So what makes options so great, right? I personally love options, and most of my trades are in options. And these are some of the reasons why. So the first thing about options is they're the only way to have odds better than 50-50. Think about that for a second. Would you bet me money on a heads coin flip? No, you would not do that. And the reason is because there's only a 50-50 chance. When you buy a stock right now, it's 50-50 chance to make money. Pure math. Now, I understand that there are companies out there that are better than others. I totally understand that. But pure statistics based, stocks have a 50% chance of going up and a 50% chance of going down, right? Pure statistics. Options are the only way to improve on that 50-50. And again, we're going to show you how to do that in a second. How great is that? Could you imagine making 75-25 bets over and over again? Being right 3 out of 4 times, or like we said, 95% chance of being right 19 out of 20 times. I mean, how much easier is investing going to be and making money in the stock market when you are right 19 out of 20 times? That's awesome. And again, kind of like we touched on before, they are the only way to make money when you're directionally wrong. So the example that I just used about a minute ago was, let's say we put on an options trade where we're betting Apple is going to go up, right? If we bought stock, we'd be doing the same thing, right? So if you bought 100 shares of Apple, let's say, and we bet Apple was going up and Apple went down 10%, well, we would lose 10% of the value of our initial investment, right? That makes sense. However, there are certain option trades that allow you to make money even if Apple goes down 10%. So could you imagine saying, you know what, I think Apple's going to go up because they're going to have a new iPhone, or they're going to get in the cars, or they're going to have a TV, right? So I want to get long Apple. And you do it via what I'm going to show you here with options. But it just doesn't always work out the way you want it to. And Apple goes down 10%, but you still make all your money. How amazing is that? Could you imagine that? That will happen to you, I promise you. I promise you. Options are the only way to get stock equivalent for fractions of the cost. So right now, let's say Apple is trading for $150 a share. In a cash account, it will cost you $15,000 to get 100 shares of stock. And in a margin account, it's going to cost you half of that, so $7,500 to get 100 shares of stock. It's really easy to get 100 shares of stock in options for maybe $300, right? So fractions of the cost, pennies on the dollar, right? And they're the only way that you can sell an asset that loses value every single day, no matter what. Let me repeat that. Options lose value every single day. If you sell an option, and we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves, but let me just share what we're going to learn here in a minute. But selling options allows you to sell an asset that loses value every single day, no matter what. Right? So that's what makes options so powerful, and that's why 98% of my strategies are just options based. So let me repeat those again. These are pretty strong. Options are the only way to improve on 50-50 bets in the stock market. If you buy a stock or sell a stock outright, it's a 50-50 shot. Options trade allow you to determine the percentage chances that you want. If you want to be right 95 times out of 100, you can absolutely do that, right? So that's the first thing. The second thing, options are the only way that you can make money when you're directionally wrong. Yes, as I said in the previous slide, there is a trade that I'm going to show you that you will make money unless the stock market gets cut in half in the next 30 days. So it could go down 40%, a total meltdown, and you will still have made money, right? So that's the second thing. The third thing is options are the only way to get stock equivalent for fractions of the cost. So I'm going to show you how to get $15,000 worth of Apple for, I don't know, $300, $250. It's really simple. And finally, options are the only way to sell an asset that automatically 100% never ever changes, automatically loses value every single day. So that's what makes options so great. And again, 98% of the strategies that we teach at Stony Brook Securities and then I personally do in my account are options trades, right? So the truth is, a lot of you are saying, well, Steven, options are risky, or I don't really know about options. Like, I don't really know about this stuff, All I really know is that, hey, Facebook's a good stock, and I know who Mark Zuckerberg is, and, Tim Cook is the CEO of Apple, and my kids have iPhones, and this and that. So, yeah, I totally get it. CNBC is probably the most, has the highest viewership in terms of financial media companies, and they have one 30-minute segment at the end of the day on Friday for options, right? So let's say 95% of their time is not talking about options. It's talking about putting faces to names of stocks, right? Apple this, Yahoo this, Amazon this, Netflix this and that. And the truth is, I can totally understand why you don't really know anything about options or why you don't hear a lot of things about options. The pros, let me just tell you, are using options. Prop traders, real money managers, they are using options 100%. I can guarantee you that. Like I said, I have done very well for myself here, and I use options 98% of the time. All right. But the truth is, why haven't you really heard about options? Well, there are a couple of reasons here, right? Huge hedge funds cannot really participate in options as much as you and I do. So when I talk about, let me just go back here. When I talk about some of these benefits, to options, being able to be right 95 times out of 100, right? Being able to put on a position where if the market doesn't get cut in half, you make money, right? Being able to do these things. You and I can do that. Hedge funds cannot. And one of the reasons is the options market is nowhere near the size of the actual equity or stock market. Right, so if Vanguard has $1 trillion or $2 trillion or whatever the hell they have now under management, it's actually impossible for them to trade the amount of options that are required to, let's say, hedge their stock position. Right? If you have a certain amount of assets under management over $250 million, options are going to be really difficult for you to trade unless you're using fractions of your account. So one of the really cool things is all these things that we've been talking about, options, are really available only to like the U's and the I's, right? To the individual investors. And that's what makes it so exciting. We have the potential, you and I have the potential to put on trades that are going to be right 95 times out of 10. Money managers can't because the size of the option market is too small for them. Again, anything over 250 million under management, which in stock market terms is like nothing, right? But for you and I, that's a lot. Anything under that is really almost, it's completely unrealistic for hedge funds and huge endowment funds to really play ball in. And that's what makes it so cool. This is where you and I can crush it. Again, the hedge funders, we don't have to compete with hedge funders here. In options, there's no such thing as a high frequency trader. You don't have to worry about that. Again, think about that. You're now hearing something, options, where you could be right 95 times out of 100. And not only that, there's no high frequency traders to get in your way, and there's no huge hedge funds that can overpower the size of that market. How awesome is that? That's really cool. And again, even if these money managers have less than 250 million, it's difficult. It's difficult to charge fees on these, right? So a lot of times, if you have a Merrill Lynch broker or a Bank of America broker, they're going to take a percentage of all your trades, right? But if an option trade is a $40 trade, what are they going to take 40 cents out of that? No, they're used to doing huge numbers. And again, you can't do those huge numbers with options. So it's difficult not only for sheer size for huge funds to get into options, but it's also really challenging for them to be able to charge fees. It's not the 2 and 20 model. It kind of goes against the way they're used to charging fees. And again, options are not sexy. They don't get talked about on Bloomberg or CNBC very often because this whole concept of excessive leverage, which is an absolute joke and shows that people have no idea what they're talking about, right? That concept is oh, risk this, risk that, but it's not true. It's easier to say Facebook is coming out with a new product, and because of that, we're going to buy stock, right? It's really easy to do that. Number one, they do that because it's easy to put the face in the name, and number two, because buying stock, obviously, through a broker will make Wall Street more money. So that's just kind of why it is. So again, I'm so excited for this. I love options. It's pretty much the only strategy I use. Every single one of my students that was able to really make money in the market is using options in a big way to really kill it and really crush it. And again, options so beautiful because they take so much risk out of the market. Just think about this again. We talked about that Apple scenario. Let's say you bought 100 shares of Apple and Apple went down 1 penny. You would immediately be losing money. But in an option scenario, if Apple goes down 1 penny, you might not be losing any money at all. In fact, you might be making money depending how many days have gone on. So again, it's completely getting rid of some of the risks that are typically involved in stock investing. So it's so cool. So what's in this bonus course? I mean, this is really exciting. To be honest with you, it's been $37. I'm definitely changing that. Just talking through this right now, I think that price is ridiculously low. I feel like you guys are absolutely ripping me off here. The things we're going to learn here are worth so much more than $37. But I love teaching people so much. I love like what really gets me going and really gets me exciting is someone who is going to give money to Vanguard or T. Rowe Price or Fidelity Funds. They found my website. They found my information. They came to my webinar, whatever it was, and they said, you know what, I can do this, and they go ahead and do this. And then for the next 50 years of their life, they can do this over and over again, and they gave no fees to Wall Street. So I love it. So what this is going to be, this course is going to be an intro to options where we're going to talk about only the information about options you need to know. There's a little bit of background you're going to need to know before we actually get into some of these strategies that we talked about. It's not going to be crazy. These videos are yours to download. Do whatever you want with them. They're yours to keep forever. Any updates I have to Options Hero, I'm going to add to here. So again, all of these are going to be yours forever. We're going to start off with an intro just so you have some background information. Then we're going to get right into the really good stuff. How to know how far a stock is going to go in the next 30 days. Really powerful. We can buy options for pennies on the dollar. Remember, instead of buying Apple for 15 grand, we're going to buy it for just $250. That's pretty awesome, right? And again, we're going to teach you how to sell options to create 95% winners. That's right. I'm telling you right here, right now. I told you at the beginning of this section, this is going to change your life. all those fears you have with investing, the inability to make money, that changes here and now. One of the ways we're going to do that is we're going to show you how to be right 95% of the time. Pretty cool, right? Then we're going to give you a 7-step checklist to be able to show you what stocks to stay away from, right? The stocks that are most give investors the most losses consistently across the board, we're going to show you exactly how to just stay the hell away from them. They're going to be off your list. You're not even going to know they exist. We're just going to say, get the hell away from us. We don't want to hear from you. We don't want to talk to you ever again because you just lose this money. We want to do that, right? And again, one of the things that option can do, and we're going to teach you here, is how to continuously stack the odds in your favor. You can start at 50-50, but we want to get that better than 50-50. And again, options are the only way to improve on a 50-50 chance of making money. Powerful stuff. And then at the end, I'm going to show you my killer option strategy. That is the simplest one to teach for me and the simplest one for any one of my students to be able to execute. And that strategy has outperformed the market by 42%. By 42% over the last decade. And it's not even designed to make you a ton of money, right? Yeah, it beats the market by 42%, which is really impressive, don't get me wrong, but its purpose is to continuously reduce your risk. Options are so good at that. They're so good at reducing your risk. So again, this course, it's going to be a bunch of videos just like this. It's going to be awesome. We're going to have a lot of fun. All these videos are going to be yours to download. All these, I'm going to give you the PowerPoints. I'm going to give you the cheat sheet at the end. Any updates, I'm going to get them to you. This is going to be great. We're going to learn a lot of things. This is really deep stuff. I've been doing this for a decade. I've been making quite a bit of money, hundreds of thousands of dollars in the stock market. The majority of that have come from options, right? So everything I'm teaching you here in Options Hero is stuff that I personally do every single day. I'm like you. Look, I don't like losing money. I love ways that can make me mitigate my risk and reduce my risk. I love the concept, and I do this every single day. I love the concept of only losing 5 times out of 100. That makes me feel a lot better. I have to put out fires so much less than I have to just deal with managing my winners. And that's what options is. So here we go. Get excited. This is really deep stuff. I'm telling you, this is not worth 37 bucks. I feel like kind of like a loser right now. I could have charged you guys way more, like probably triple that here. But 37 bucks is just ridiculous. This is really heavy stuff. You might need to watch some of this once or twice because a lot of the things that you're going to hear in this course are completely different than anything you've ever heard about the stock market. But this works. I promise you this works. And if it doesn't work for you, I'll give you your money back. You can keep the course, no questions asked. But I promise you, if you actually use these strategies, you pay attention to what we talk about here, you're going to see a big difference. You're going to have your eyes opened up to simple investing strategies that have worked for the last 100 years and that will work for the rest of your life. You'll never have to give your money to Wall Street, and you'll be able to manage your money for the rest of your life. And the way we're going to start is this course, Options Hero. So here we go.